So today we're talking about the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is oftentimes a system that is ignored, but it is extremely important. And it actually interacts with other systems in your body. So for example, it interacts with your circulatory system, it interacts with your immune system, and it is even really important in the digestive system. So when we look at the lymphatic system, we could talk about, well, what is its function? What does it do? And primarily, one of the main things that it does is that it removes excess fluid that is lost from the blood capillaries. So we can say that it removes excess fluid lost from the blood capillaries. So the capillaries are where we have exchange between the circulatory system, the blood, and the tissues. And so we want our capillaries to be leaky and for things to leave the capillaries, and then also things to be picked up by the capillaries. So for example, in the tissues, we might have oxygen and nutrients and water leaving the capillaries, and then we might have waste products and carbon dioxide and water being sucked back up by the capillaries. So if we look at this lymphatic system, generally it is associated with capillaries. And you'll notice that in this diagram, has a different color. So in most textbooks, it has a green color. So here we have the circulatory system and the lymphatic system. So we have these capillaries, and this is where we have exchange with the tissues. The capillary beds are extensive throughout our body. If you think about like when, for example, your skin gets hot and turns red, those are capillary beds opening up in your skin in order for you to get rid of heat, for example. We also have capillaries in our digestive tract, in our muscles, right? So capillaries are extensive, as is the lymphatic system. So when we look at the capillaries, one thing that you'll notice is that they are continuous. So here we have the blood, like the red blood cells, for example, traveling through this capillary bed, and they generally do not leave the capillary bed. And so that is one thing that is different between the circulatory capillaries and the lymphatic capillaries. So one of the things that you'll notice about the lymphatic capillaries is that they look like they don't go anywhere, like they're blind-ended, and that is true, they are blind-ended. So if we look at this diagram in a little bit more depth, we can see that the capillaries are blind-ended tubes, and their function is to open up when there is extra fluid in the tissues, and that is called interstitial fluid. And what happens is that it sucks that fluid back up and it removes it from the tissues. So when this doesn't happen, you can have all kinds of problems, and ultimately it generally results in tissue swelling. So you might know of somebody who has problems with like their arms swelling up or their legs or their feet swelling up, and it could have something to do with problems with the lymphatic system. So let's go back to this major function of this is that it removes fluid. So lymphatic capillaries, let's go back to this. Lymphatic capillaries are blind-ended. They open up and fluid moves in. So this fluid is not under great pressure. And so one of the things that's interesting about the capillaries is that they have valves. And so this helps to prevent backflow of the lymphatic tissue. So valves aid in the movement of the lymph. And where is this lymph going to go? So the lymph is going to go back up towards the neck region. And as it travels through the body, we need to filter the lymph. So the lymph could contain dead cells. It could contain microbes like bacteria. And we want our body to be able to filter the lymph before it goes back into the circulatory system. So it would go into the circulatory system, up the venous system, the veins, the jugular veins, up near the neck. So if we look at here, go back here, we see that the valves, right? So the valves are going to be, if this lymph comes up, it is going to be prevented from going the wrong direction. It comes up and you'll notice that it starts to move through these larger structures, which are actually called lymph nodes. So lymph nodes actually have more than one type of tissue in them. They're like a connective tissue capsule. And these lymph nodes contain immune cells, specifically like white blood cells that we're going to talk about later when we talk about the immune system. But these white blood cells are going to detect any foreign stuff, and it is going to fight it off. Now you'll notice that it then comes up here and goes into the venous system. So it is going to go up in the venous system in the neck. So maybe you have heard of lymphatic massage. And this is the idea that maybe if we massage the body, we could get that extra lymph to move up and out. So it's really important if you do lymphatic massage that you massage things from the towards the heart. So if it's like in the head region, you want to go towards the heart. If it's in the lower extremities, you want to take it back towards the heart. And that is actually just common sense because also Venus, the blood that is depleted, venous blood is also going to need to go back towards the heart. So it's kind of important to massage in that direction.